Namaste, angels. This is the general weekly reading. It is delayed. My apologies. My week was a little thrown off. Around Tuesday, there was a lot of death, and that I wasn't surprised about that. I just didn't feel like working in the energy once some of it occurred. For one thing, a friend of mine, a Facebook friend of mine in my private life, my government name, his child, his 4-year-old son, was killed in an accidental shooting, and that disturbed me. And I just didn't feel like using that energy to do anybody's reading or to do any of the healings or to do anything. So I was already thrown off by, a day. And then yesterday, to be happier, it's 11:11, by the way, right now. On a more positive and uplifting note, yesterday, there was an impromptu birthday party for one of my oldest and dearest friends. So, like friends that are family and friends that are family, cousins and things like that. We got together. This includes like all of the bridesmaids from my wedding, including the maid of honor. It was one of the bridesmaids whose birthday it was. And so that was very enjoyable. I hadn't spent time with them in years. The last time was actually a Saturday time. On my birthday 2 years ago was the funeral of my maid of honor's father. So again, we got together and under good terms, and that's why I'm, late. So again, I apologize, and we're going to get right into it, beginning with the Transfiguration of Jesus, because it is still 11:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. It is not yet midnight, so it is still Sunday the 6th, which is the feast day of the Transfiguration of Jesus. Now, what is this? It is a day, reported event, where Jesus is said to have appeared on a mountain along with Saints Peter, John, and James. He was witnessed by Saints Peter, John, and James. He appeared with Elijah and Moses. So this is a very special event in Christianity, certainly, but at the same time, these are all three beings considered major, and that's the term, major prophets. There are major prophets, there are minor prophets. Quote unquote major prophets in not only Christianity, but Judaism and Islam. So to me, that makes it all the more important in our regard and brings us good energy. What else is going on? Well, should I do the sky this week? No, I'm going to talk to you about Tu B'Av, I think. Yeah, let's go in order. Tu B'Av it's T-U and then capital B apostrophe Av. And it is, I guess, more easier said for a Yankee like myself, the 15th of Av, or 15 Av. And that is the day that I've mentioned a few times since the end of last month, the month of Tammuz, when the 3 weeks started. The 3 weeks leading up to the destruction of the Jerusalem temples, which is commemorated on 9 Av, and the 15th is a more happy day. We're done with the mourning and we celebrate. It's a celebration of love, really, and I'll tell you a little bit about it from Wikipedia. Tu B'Av is a minor Jewish holiday. In modern-day Israel, it's celebrated as a holiday of love, similar to Valentine's Day. It has been said to be a great day for weddings. According to the Mishnah, Tu B'Av was a joyous holiday in the days of the Temple of Jerusalem, marking the beginning of the grape harvest. Yom Kippur marked the end of the grape harvest. On both dates, the unmarried girls of Jerusalem dressed in their white garments and went out to dance in the vineyards. That same section in the Talmud, where that is written, states that there were no holy days as happy for the Jews as Tu B'Av and Yom Kippur. The holiday celebrated the wood offering brought in the temple, and you can find this in the book of Nehemiah 13:31, which equals 8, and 8 very important this week too. It is also referred to as the Feast of Wood Bearing. There is more to be found here on Wikipedia, of course, about Tu B'Av for anybody that wants to read about it. But I'm going to go on to the next day. So we've done the sixth Transfiguration, the 7th Tu B'Av, and also, of course, the full moon in Aquarius, as well as the lunar eclipse. And the 8th is the day on which we celebrate the Lion's Gate, which there's a lot of misinformation going about the Lion's Gate, including an indication that it begins tomorrow, it opens tomorrow. This is not true. It opened on the 26th of July and remains open through the 12th of August. The reason this matters is because it's an actual thing. Every year, Sirius, our planet Earth, and the sun, they move to specific coordinates in the sky, and that activates, the opening of the portal. So it is a particular time. We can't make it up as we go along, however we want. Also, I've seen going about that it's 888. It is not 888. It's 881. It was 888 in the year 2015. And so that was a particularly celebrated Lion's Gate, but that's not the case this year. However, what's special about ours with regard to the number 8, I would say, is that 881, again, equals 8. 8 plus 8 is 16, which equals 7 plus 1 is 8. So I think that's worth mentioning. Other than that, the Lion's Gate is a physical place. And I'll tell you a little bit about that from Wikipedia. The Lion's Gate, also known as St. Stephen's Gate or Sheep Gate, is located in the old city walls of Jerusalem and is one of 7 gates in Jerusalem's old city walls. Now, these are all capital letters because this is a place as well. Old city walls is a place. Located in the eastern wall, the entrance marks the beginning of the traditional Christian observance of the last walk of Jesus from prison to the crucifixion. The Via Dolorosa, it's like Dolores, but with an S-A at the end. Near the gate's crest are 4 figures of leopards, which are often mistaken for lions. 2 on the left and 2 on the right. They were placed there by Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent to celebrate the Ottoman defeat of the Mamluks in the year 1517. Legend has it that Suleiman's predecessor, Selim I, dreamed of lions that were going to eat him because of his plans to level the city. He was spared only after promising to protect the city by building a wall around it. This led to the lion becoming the heraldic symbol of Jerusalem. However, Jerusalem already had been from biblical times the capital of the kingdom of Judah, whose emblem was a lion. And this can be found Genesis 49:9. Last week I got really annoyed by all of the misinformation and this indication and implication that angelics, star seeds, so-called light workers, or we're not all of the light, and ascended beings, and however you want to put it, like invented all this stuff, and like they pulled it out of their ass and it came from nowhere. It's in all of our journey, as I've said many times. It's in the Bible. It's in the Torah, which predates the Bible. It's in the Quran, and it's in other cultures and languages and places where it can be found too. The Book of Enoch and the lost books of the Bible, and there's things in the Hindu doctrine, and Jainism, and it's all over the place. We didn't invent this. And nobody that's on the journey now that claims to be a teacher or a spiritualist or whatever has access to information that the rest of us don't. It's all written. It's all written. Now, does that mean that people can't channel new information or whatever? But yes, but it's supposed to be a basis in the prophecies and in the history. This thing of making stuff up and then it's new to us and we're new to it, and that makes us particularly special. And when we get ahead of ourselves and take on this grandiose attitude, you know, like we are gods with capital G's and things, will be the downfall. It takes us in the wrong direction. Anyway, in another version, Suleiman taxed Jerusalem's residents with heavy taxes, which they could not afford to pay. That night, Suleiman had a dream of 2 lions coming to devour him. When he woke up, he asked his dream solvers what the dream meant. A wise, respected man came forward and asked Suleiman what was on his mind before drifting to sleep. Suleiman responded that he was thinking about how to punish the men who didn't pay his taxes. The wise men responded that since Suleiman thought badly about the holy city, God was angry. To atone, Suleiman built the Lion's Gate to protect Jerusalem from invaders. Israeli paratroops from the 55th Paratroop Brigade came through this gate during the Six-Day War in the year 1967 and unfurled the Israeli flag above the Temple Mount. Historian Moshe Sharon notes that similarity of the sculpted lions to similar pairs at Jisr, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, Jindas, and the first word was spelled capital J-I-S-R, and then it's Jindas, J-I-N-D-A-S, and Qasr al-Basha, Q-A-S-R, space, lowercase a-l, hyphen, capital B-A-S-H-A in Gaza. All represent the same sultan, according to this gentleman, this historian. Sharon estimates that they all date to approximately the year 1273. The gate is part of the city's extant walls, built by Ottoman Sultan Suleiman in 1542, which is 6'6". The walls stretch for approximately 4.5 kilometers and rise to a height of 5 to 15 meters, which is 16 to 49 feet, or 13, with a thickness of 3 meters. Altogether, the old city walls contain 43 surveillance towers and 11 gates, 7 of which are presently open. So if you get to visit Jerusalem, you should check this out. What else? Well, there's the full moon, but I did a full moon video, which should be uploading as we speak, or as I record this video, actually. So I'll go into what else is going on. What's going on in the sky? Well, there's still some, as far as astrology goes, there would still be some Venus in Cancer activity. There's also this week a sextile between Venus and Mercury that's very, quote unquote, favorable. Mars still in Leo. On the 7th, which is tomorrow, of course, it's the full moon in Aquarius and the lunar eclipse. On the 12th, we begin the Mercury retrograde in Virgo. And I think that's it. So I'll go to the astronomy now. That was the astrology, the astronomy. And for that, astronomy.com, the sky this week, August 4th to 13th. But I'm going to begin with the 7th, tomorrow, Monday. Full moon arrives at 2:11 p.m., which is 11:11 Eastern Daylight Time. It rises in the eastern sky just as the sun sets and reaches its peak in the south shortly after 1 a.m. local daylight time. The moon lies in the northeastern corner of the constellation of Capricornicus, the sea goat. More significantly, In most of the world outside of the Americas, observers with clear skies will see a partial lunar eclipse as the moon passes into Earth's shadow. Luna's southern edge enters our planet's dark umbral shadow at 1722. Universal time, which I went over last time, is also known as Zulu time. And it was explained why. And I forgot again already. And it was something that I knew because my children's father, my ex-husband, he was in the army. We were a military family. My father was in the Air Force. I forgot again. Anyway, it exits at, listen to this, 19 hours and 19 minutes. 1919, that's got daddy written all over it, father with a capital F. Greatest eclipse occurs at 18 hours and 20 minutes universal time, when 25% of the moon's diameter resides in our planet's shadow. Tuesday, August 8th, Jupiter appears low in the west-southwest an hour after sunset this week. The brilliant planet shines at a magnitude of -1.8 and dominates the evening sky. It appears against the backdrop of Virgo, some 7 degrees to the right of the Maiden's brightest star, the first magnitude Spica. When viewed through a telescope, Jupiter's disk spans 34 inches and shows a wealth of atmospheric detail. Wednesday, August 8th, by the time morning twilight starts to paint the sky, brilliant Venus already dominates the scene. The planet rises shortly after 3 a.m. local daylight time and stands 20 degrees high an hour before sunrise. It's hard to mistake Venus for anything else at a magnitude of -4. It shines far brighter than any other object in the morning sky with the exception of the moon. Although the view with the naked eye or binoculars is dazzling, you'll need a telescope to see the planet's 14-inch diameter disk, which appears about 3/4 illuminated. Venus appears against the background stars of Western Gemini, the twins. Thursday, August 10th, the variable star Algol in Perseus reaches minimum brightness at 2:47 a.m., another 11:11, Eastern Daylight Time, tomorrow morning, or 11:47 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, also 11:11, when it shines at a magnitude of 3.4. If you live in Western North America and start viewing around the time of least luminosity, you can see it brighten by more than a magnitude during the next 5 hours. This eclipsing binary star runs through a cycle from minimum to maximum and back every 2.87 days. Friday, August 11th. The Perseid meteor shower peaks during daylight hours tomorrow, so the best viewing conditions occur tonight. Unfortunately, full moon occurred just a few days ago, and its bright light will drown out fainter meteors and leave the brighter ones less impressive in the prime viewing hours after midnight. Instead of seeing up to 100 meteors per hour as you might in a good year, a typical observer may see only 20 to 25 per hour. Your best bet is to view in the early morning hours of the 12th, when the shower's radiant climbs high in the northeast. Position yourself facing north with the moon at your back. Saturday, August 12th, which is again in the astrology, the Mercury retrograde. Assuming you can watch the Perseid show this morning, don't pack up when twilight starts to paint the sky. About 45 minutes before the sun comes up, look for a bright object hovering just above the horizon in the east-southeast. This is the night sky's brightest star, magnitude -1.5 Sirius in the constellation Canis Major. From mid-northern latitudes, the luminary climbs some 4 degrees high and a half hour before sunrise, and you should stand out, if you have a clear and unobstructed view of the horizon. The return of Sirius to the pre-dawn sky was an occasion for celebration in ancient Egypt around 3000 BC. This so-called heliacal rising of Sirius heralded the coming flood of the Nile River, an event upon which agriculture and all life in Egypt depended. Yes, they used to say, it's said, I've read, that Isis used to keep the Nile from flooding, and that it's referred to as her tears, the Nile River, and particularly when it floods. And this, I won't call it a holiday, but this time of year. Sunday, August 13th. Oh, that's also the last day of the Lion's Gate, by the way. Lion's Gate and that situation with the Nile, also I believe to be connected as well. Sunday, August 13th. Spectacular Saturn lies due south and at its peak altitude about an hour after sunset. It shines at a magnitude of 0.3 against the backdrop of Southern Serpent Bearer, a constellation whose brightest star glows 6 times fainter than the ring planet. When viewed through a telescope, Saturn's globe measures 17 inches across, while its dramatic ring system spans 40 inches and tilts 27 degrees to our line of sight. Tonight also offers a nice opportunity to see the planet's 7 brightest moons. The toughest to spot normally are the 2 inner ones, Mimas and Enceladus, Enceladus. I think that would be how you would pronounce it, Enceladus. The first one was Mimas, Mimas. And they never stray from the ring's glare. But tonight, Enceladus reaches greatest eastern elongation just 2 hours after Mimas comes to greatest western elongation. Tethys, Dion, Rhea, Titan, and Lepidus round our Saturn's magnificent 7 satellites on display. The quote-unquote magnificent 7, that's what they're called. And to finish up, I'll finish our story, The Dancing Maidens of Jerusalem. There were no greater festivals for Israel than the 15th of Av and Yom Kippur. On these days, the daughters of Jerusalem would go out and dance in the vineyards. And what would they say? Young man, raise your eyes and see which you select for yourself. And so it is written, go out, daughters of Zion, and see King Solomon in the crown in which his mother crowned him on his wedding day and on the day of his heart's rejoicing. His wedding day, this is the day of the giving of the Torah. The day of his heart's rejoicing, this is the building of the holy temple, which shall be rebuilt speedily in our days. And all of this can be found in the Talmud, which is the Torah. It is no coincidence that Yom Kippur and the 15th of Av served as occasions for matchmaking for the young men and women of Jerusalem. A reminder again, tomorrow, Monday the 7th, is the 15th of Av. These 2 days, Yom Kippur and the 15th of Av, are the respective betrothal and marriage dates between God and Israel. Yom Kippur, the day on which the second tablets were given to Moses, because he threw the first ones down the floor when he was annoyed. Marking the fulfillment of the covenant at Mount Sinai, is the day of Israel's betrothal to God. The 15th of Av is the day that represents the rebirth, which follows the great fall of the Holy Temple's destruction, which occurred on the 9th of Av. This celebrates the ultimate consummation of our marriage with the final redemption of the Messiah. After relating how the daughters of Jerusalem would go out and dance in the vineyards, and whoever did not have a wife would go there to find himself a bride, the Talmud goes on to describe 3 different categories of quote-unquote daughters, and how each would call out to their prospective bridegroom. The first, what would the beautiful ones among them say? Look for beauty, for a woman is beauty. What would the prestigious lineage say? Look for family, for a woman is children. What would the ugly one say? Make your acquisition for the sake of heaven, as long as you decorate us with jewels. The Lubavitcher Rebbe explains that the marriage of God and his people also includes these 3 categories of brides. The souls of Israel include, quote-unquote, beautiful souls, souls of quote-unquote prestigious lineage, and quote-unquote ugly souls, each of whom contribute their own unique dimension to our relationship with God. Love. There are 2 types of love, say the Hasidic masters. There is a love that is generated by a person's own mind and heart when he or she meditates on the greatness and desirability of a person or thing or state, as in like a state of being, and thereby develops feelings of love and attraction to him, her, or it. Then there's an inborn love, a love that a person has not created himself. Indeed, he may be aware that he possesses it, but which resides in his heart from birth, a natural bond and attraction to something that is implanted in his soul by virtue of who and what he is. You shall love God. This is a quote from Deuteronomy 6:5. It's a crucial component of our relationship with the Almighty. Aside from the fact that loving God is itself a mitzvah, meaning a divine commandment, it is also a prerequisite for the proper observance of all the mitzvot. As Rabbi Zalman of Liadi elaborates in his Tanya mitzvot, which are motivated by a love of God, mitzvot which are not motivated by a love of God are performed mechanically and erratically. Only one who loves God serves him in a manner that is both integral and enduring. Our love for God also comes in the two forms described above. By studying what God has revealed about himself in his Torah and contemplating and meditating upon these truths, one develops a feeling of love toward him, a desire to approach his great and magnificent being, to unite and to become one with it. Indeed, this is one of the primary functions of prayer, the service of the heart, to generate a feeling of love for the Creator by meditating on his greatness and majesty. But also, the person who does not succeed in creating a quote-unquote self-generated love by these means can attain a love for God by resorting to the inborn love for him we each possess as a quote-unquote inheritance from our forefathers. Abraham, the first Jew, was the very embodiment of divine love. And this is also a quote. Abraham, who loves me, in God's words to Isaiah. And God rewarded him with the gift of quote unquote fatherhood, the ability to bequeath this love to his descendants. So each and every Jew, or I would say person, being, has Abraham's love of God encoded in his spiritual genes. As with all inborn characteristics, this love may be buried in the subconscious, stifled by the dross of material life. But it can always be awakened and called upon to stimulate and vitalize our observance of the mitzvot. The advantages of the second type of love are obvious. Every Jew possesses it and the ability to realize it, regardless of the extent of his cognitive and meditative skills or his spiritual sensitivity. Furthermore, a self-generated love will always be eliminated by finite capacities of the mind and the heart, which have created it, right? So we're creating it out of something that's limited. Therefore, it too will be limited, is what that means. And it will fluctuate in accordance with the person's mental and emotional state at any given moment. Our inborn love, being divinely granted, is infinite and unequivocal. But there are advantages to self-generated love as well. Though lesser in essence and scope, it is more keenly felt, more exuberantly experienced, for such is our nature. What we create is more precious to us than the most valuable endowment. What we conceive of ourselves is somehow more relevant and real than what is learned from the greatest master. So although the stimulation of inherited love for God would suffice to drive our observance of the mitzvot, we should nevertheless strive to enhance our relationship with him with ecstasy and passion that only a love created by our own faculties and initiative can bring. In the words of our sages, this is a quote, although a fire came down from the heavens, it is imperative to also kindle a man-made fire. The sallow-skinned bride. So this is the portion I've never read before. Therein lies the deeper significance of the Talmud's description of how the beautiful ones, those of the prestigious lineage and the ugly ones among the daughters of Jerusalem conducted their courtship dance in the vineyards on Av 15. The dancing maidens of Jerusalem, calling out their virtues to their prospective bridegrooms, echo the call of the souls of Israel to their divine groom. Among these are the beautiful souls, those who have achieved a best of both worlds perfection in their love of the Almighty, a passionate self-generated love upon the immutable foundation of inherited love. A woman is for beauty. Call these souls to God. Take us as your bride, and you will be rewarded by the pleasure you derive when your creations realize the potential for perfection you have invested in them. Then there are the souls of prestigious lineage. We cannot offer you the flawless beauty of our perfect sisters. They call to God, but we have unearthed the hereditary love you have implanted in us. A woman is for children. Our relationship might not as of yet yield beauty, but it will bear fruit. The mitzvah generated by our natural love for you. In the words of Midrash Pesta Zerati in Genesis 6:9. The offspring of the righteous are for good deeds. For it is not your ultimate purpose in creation that your creations fulfill your will. Or is it not, rather? It was a question. Our love for you might not excite our senses and illuminate our lives, but we offer you the rewards of family, the good deeds that are tangible, enduring offspring of Israel's commitment to her Creator. And the ugly ones, those who have neither roused the minds and hearts to desire their Creator, nor awakened their hereditary loyalty to Him, those who never generated a self-created love and whose inborn love lies dormant under a squalid veneer of apathy and iniquity, they cry, make your acquisition for the sake of heaven. Do for your sake, if not ours, call the ugly souls of Israel. Take us as your own despite our appearance, because only you know what lies behind our appearance, and only you know the truth of what you can inspire in us. For you know that in truth, the daughters of Israel are beautiful. It is only that poverty obscures their beauty. You know that our ugliness is not our true essence, but imposed upon us by the spiritual poverty of Galut. If we have failed to realize our potential for beauty and fruitfulness, then it is left to you to decorate us with jewels, to shower us with the gifts that will waken our quintessential bond to you and bring to light our innate perfection. Which I guess the moral of this story is every soul can be saved, and every, there's a mate for everybody. With that, the dice. I'm beginning with 29. Stay in bed. It's 50-50. Spirit says, spend money. It's 50-50. And dirty movie. Going to the Keepers of the Light Oracle, beginning with hope, love, and acceptance for my crossbred. And opening to Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. Hope inspires us to know that love is ours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. Kuan Yin. Opening to Radha, soul flame. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing. Radha. And Mercury, open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. Right, I'll go one more. It's Odin, psychic insight. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is and follow your intuition. Odin. Odin. Overall energy is Lady Nada, heart awakening. Awaken to acceptance and divine love. Give and receive in balance. I think that's what it's 50-50 means this week. That's what came to my mind, actually. Love passing both ways, and it being 50-50 when I picked up that die. Feminine, about herself. Lady Portia, divine order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. So if we've been feeling torn, it's time to make a decision. And I think the decision's been made in our heart is what this is saying. And it's time to just go for it without concern of the repercussions or the outcome. Without expectation, as they say. The masculine with regard to the feminine this week. Kuthumi, cloak of wisdom. You already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. So this is talking about our back and forth and questioning about whether or not we're in a union, and if so, with whom. Is it him? Maybe it's not, or her. Maybe it's not. I thought it was all this time, but now I'm thinking it's not. But you know what? I kind of do. Like in my heart, I do. I think it is, but I'm not sure. You know, like we're back and forth and all over the place. He wants you to acknowledge, you know, yes, you already know, like, stop this, basically. The masculine with regard to himself this week. The Miriam, sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. This is including himself and especially himself. Remember that love has no boundaries. He's got to let go of limitation. And with regard to the union, Isis, magic manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. There's a lot of abundance this week if the full moon reading is any indication. Overall, Cernunnos, life force. Express your driving passion. Sensual and sexual powers are increased this week. This is like an Ace of Wands basic kind of energy. Maybe half Ace of Wands, half Devil. You know, very frisky, as they say. And the outcome. Kuan Yin is back with care and compassion. Choose to be love. Do what you know is right for everyone involved. And not a mistake that this is not only the same colors as the Lady Portia Divine Order card, where we're to the feminine specifically is to do what she knows is right. But crossing here. And what would the masculine have the feminine to do or surrender toward the union this week? In general sense. Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. So he's repeating what he already said here. This increased awareness, crossing the cloak of wisdom. Go with what you know. Not just in his regard, and go with what you know. And what is the masculine willing to do and or surrender toward the union this week? Mother Mary. Love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. This is not only nurturing himself and others, but this is, for many of them, I'm feeling, addressing a situation with his own mother and or like the mother of his children or a mother figure sort of in his life. There's a disconnect and a situation there. And not a mistake. I don't think that a mother ended up here sitting under mother. What would the universe have the couple to do and or surrender this week? Saint Germain, karma releasing, move beyond drama. Yes, this also came up in the moon reading, letting go. That's what full moons are about, so that's going to be a really heavy energy that's surrounding us this week, between the fact that a full moon is about letting go and endings, and a lunar eclipse is also about letting go and endings. So it's like double. And then again, we have the Lionsgate portal also open also. We just have to, and we got all these retrogrades. We got Mercury going into full retrograde at the end of the week, Saturday. We've just got to, complete a bunch of things. Go for karmic completion is what the universe guides us to do this week. And for our general spread, beginning with the Page of Fire, who's a Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. Opening to the Five of Earth. We're feeling lack of abundance one way or another. This can be love. This can be money. For some of us, this is fear in either regard, or sometimes a combination of both. Like, I can't make a move in love because of money. That sort of thing. Fear surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, though, and uncertain self-employment. All things that come with this card. Five of Earth. King of Water, who is trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice and charity work, which is love. This can be our energy. This can be somebody that comes into our life this week. These court cards. Well, this was not a court card anymore, but it was the Page of Fire. King of Water. Court cards represent actual people, or tend to, at least for me. This is a Pisces, Cancer, a Scorpio, or somebody with those attributes and traits. And maybe somewhere in their chart that exists. This is you dealing with love and emotion. Maybe somebody dealing with some fear of abandonment issues this week. And maybe that's where you're guided by the masculine, for example, to go with what you know. Believe what you know to be right. He's not going to leave you. You can stop that. King of Water. And the Two of Fire. Didn't I start with 29 with the dice? That means spiritual partnership. This also can potentially be a spiritual partnership. It means partnership, whether it's spiritual or not. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. Two of Fire, of course, also the quintessential divine partnership card of the tarot. Quote unquote twin flame card of the tarot. Two of Fire. I'll go one more. It's the Four of Air. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. Two of Fire. It's another two. It's renewal with Archangel Jeremiah. Review and evaluate. A favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. Well, this is the general reading, so this can mean a bunch of general things. It can have to do with being judgmental against oneself, maybe in deciding what to do about something, and I don't know how this is going to look. It might look bad. Society frowns upon this, all that kind of stuff. You're guided to let go of that and to not do it to anybody else, look down your nose at anybody else, as they say. Also, as it relates to work, for example, this is about your boss having a watchful eye on you for good reason. He wants to give you a raise, a promotion, elevate you in some way. That boss can be the universe. You know, you could be starting a new career, or at least metaphorically, for that boss. And as it relates to relationships, not just romantic, but relationships, period. So with one's mother, for example, as I was just talking about, or a romantic relationship or a friendship, this is a make or break moment. So that could be part of the karmic completion. We may have relationships with certain people that need to come to an end. And now is the time. Overall energy is life experience, or the tower. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. This also came up in the moon reading. The tower was the crowning energy. So some of us can expect for a karmic, quote unquote karmic, as in destined, fated, of the universe to come through unexpectedly and boom, change our lives. You know, I think for the better. I think if you see the full moon in Aquarius reading, you'll agree. Masculine, the Four of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. So a lot of these cards are repeating already. He's surrounded, however, by the Ten of Earth. I told you abundance was coming. And in some cases, in unexpected ways, it'll be showing up. This can be part of the tower. Boom, all of a sudden, I got money. I was worried. I was in that Five of Earth energy. I had lack. I felt lack. I almost manifested lack into my life, or I had been in the past. And then all of a sudden, boom, here comes the universe with this 10. It's the star, which represents the sign of Aquarius. Happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You're on the right path. This is wishes granted, prayers answered. Yes, it's yes from the minor arcana. Also here in the masculine subconscious in this position, he could be contemplating, I want to reach out via maybe electronic communication. You know, I want to send her an email. I want to send her a text. I want to try some dating online because I don't have a her yet. I want to find a her. I'm going to, you know, do some online dating. There's some sort of electronic communication. And this is an 8, by the way, the star. Feminine, the 10 of air. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Somebody may even be recovering from an addiction. There was an air card, I won't give it away, here in this position as well in the full moon reading that I think may be very connected to this for a good bit of us. In some cases, there can be something going on with an actual earth, air sign. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. For others, it might be Mercury, it might be the Aquarius full moon, but something's bringing about some endings for you. 10s represent endings. Surrounded by the 6 of Water, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. This is a soulmate card. We have a soulmate day coming up tomorrow, Monday the 7th. That can be what this is about. It may have something to do with children for some. It may have something to do with our own childhood. Again, issues regarding, you know, with our parents or regarding our parents. Things that we never healed inside. Forgiveness we never gave. That it's time to let it all go. In the feminine subconscious, the King of Earth, who's generous, professional, responsible, and practical. He's also a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. And this week, he's us. Maybe we're either thinking about maybe an actual person that can help us to make our way, as they say, as it relates to finances and or material things. Or we're feeling really good about ourselves, and there may be some things coming their way to us in the area of finances or material, new jobs, and just unexpected stuff. Kind of like the masculine. Crowning. The Five of Air. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. Five of Air for me is when we have our hand, whether it's inadvertent, like accidental, or intentional. We have our hand in the conflict. Like we in part brought it upon ourselves, whether we meant to or not. And it's this 5, which is a clearing of energy or change in energy, challenging energy. All these things are what's meant by the number 5. Sitting here next to the number 10. 5s and 10s are very similar in that it's difficulty, challenge often, but it's ending. It's being cleared away. Here at the root, the Queen of Fire, who's confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. She's also a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, and the quintessential divine feminine of the tarot. So some of us may be feeling like this just for that reason, the divine feminine, or getting in touch with our feminine, our inner feminine because of the moon, and moons being feminine and all about surrender. That's another possibility. And some of us may just have, the attributes and traits of a fire sign. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. At the heart of the matter, the Knight of Earth, who's loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. The Knight of Earth is a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, like the King of Earth. Or somebody taking on those traits or attributes, an actual person, very possible in your life this week, can be you. And it's another indication of money this week. Abundance. It doesn't have to be money. It can be, abundance in any form. It can be love. It can be both. We can get real lucky this week. The next card is upright. I think I will attempt to use it to clarify our crowning card, the 5 of Air. The 2 of Water. Some of us conflicted about what's in our heart. And look what it's crossing. The soulmate card. Right? We've got a difficult, maybe we caused some sort of conflict with this person. Maybe we turned them away. Maybe that's why in the 4 of Water, the masculine has its back to us and to this 1 cup that's standing up. This represents the relationship. We may have done something feminine, said something, that was hurtful or whatever, but that energy is going to, that conflict will pass. It is minor. It is lower than all of these cards here on the table. All of these court cards, certainly. And it will pass. The next one's upright. But the next one after that is, reverse, but the next one after that is upright. So I'll try the 10 of Air too. It's the 10 of Fire. Too much work. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance. That leads to stress-related health concerns. So either we have some sort of codependency upon, a person, place, or thing, and or, we are a burden or feel that we're a burden on somebody else, or somebody or something is a burden upon us. In both cases, this is coming to an end shortly. This week, I'm going to say. And I'm going to go on to Ascended Master cards, beginning with Follow Your Heart and St. Francis to see if we can get even more clarity. And opening to Energy Healing with Merlin. Energy Healing. Purification with White Tara. This is about removing people, places, and things from our lives. And that also goes toward energy healing. Toxic, not just in general, toxic people, places, and things. Energy healing. And completing that karma. Yes, says Ganesh, removing obstacles as well. Yes. Sometimes the people, places, and things are the obstacles. That also goes toward our energy healing. Crystals can assist with this. Sometimes we need to cut cords, for example. We might want to use a selenite wand, for example, in doing something like that. Or we may want to surround ourselves in like rose quartz and other pink crystals for love, or maybe the healing energy of something like this, like a bloodstone, carnelian. All for the purpose of that energy healing. Crystals now at the bottom. I'm going to cut. Purification. So this is very important. The showing us this message twice, doubling down on it, means a lot of us need to detoxify our lives of someone, someplace, something. And the overall energy is take charge of this situation, says Moses. Here atop the Four of Water. Meditate, masculine, says Buddha, and this may help you to remember your blessings and to find a place of peace, and that may help you to open your eyes and look around and, you know what, I have things to be thankful for. Yeah, I lost some stuff. Yeah, I had to let some stuff go. I let some people go. But you know what, I got this really wonderful person that still wants to be in my life, and I got this really awesome stuff still, and I got a really nice, you know, place to live, shelter, roof over my head, whatever the case is for you. Atop the 10 of Earth, yoga. So then again, this is the repeat message of the need for the masculine to meditate. Yoga is just another form of meditation and energy healing. And Babaji is suggesting this. Maybe toward going toward happiness. Could be toward clearing a financial block or an abundance block. But it could be going toward just general happiness, because the 10 of Earth is about, you know, being fulfilled, it may be financially fulfilled, in a material sense, you got everything you want or whatever fulfilled. And it can also be emotional fulfillment. So yoga. Here atop the star, father, husband, brother, son, Osiris. This can be your wish coming true with regard to the Two of Water and your quote unquote soulmate connection, your divine partnership, and taking your rightful place like the divine masculine of all time. This can be wish coming true that maybe you're going to become a father or one of these others here. Obviously, you'd already be a son. Maybe you're meeting your father. Some of us finding out who our father is. That could be an issue from our childhood. That can be a revelation that comes out of nowhere. That can be a tower. But it's something that brings us emotional happiness. It may be related to family. Again, sitting here underneath the 10 of Earth. Atop the 10 of Fire and the 10 of Air. It's right. And this is about writing something, someplace, someone off. This is about ridding ourselves of somebody. Like signing the X on the dotted line to say, okay, I'm done here, or we're done here. Like the finality of it. Surrounding the feminine, here atop the 6 of Water, detached from drama, says Pallas Athena. So this can be, again, a situation involving your child, your children, your childhood, the father of your children, another, a past soulmate that is no longer. It's something that brings you drama and that has caused you difficulty, pain, to feel burdened or burdensome, maybe even feeling as if you had been stabbed in the back, betrayed, hurt by, this person and whatever this 6 of Water represents in your life. And it's time to cut yourself away from that. That's one of the things that has to end for you, your karmic completion, as seen in the other spread. Here atop the King of Earth, artistic expression, Paul the Venetian. Some of us finding work in a field in which, about which we're passionate, and we feel that we can express ourselves freely and be ourselves, be authentic in this new line of work or income stream. Maybe thinking of coming up with something to do, some sort of self-employment or something. Crowning here atop what became the 2 of water that was used to clarify the 5 of air and being conflicted about what to do, maybe. St. Francis says, follow your heart, straight to the 2 of water. Here atop the Queen of Fire, clear and shield your energy, says El Moria. Maybe taking the confidence and intelligence of the Queen of Fire upon ourselves, harnessing that, using that to defend ourselves, to clear and shield our energy, to give us the strength to detach from drama and all that, whatever else we have to do to heal ourselves. Yeah, I think that's what it means. That's what I got. Thought something else was coming. Aww. And here atop the Knight of Earth, this is what's on its way ultimately. It may be taking its time, maybe taking longer than, you'd hoped, longer than you expected. When is it ever going to come? When is it ever going to fully manifest? That's because the Knight of Earth is, he can be slow because he's very paced and methodical. But this kind of love is on its way. That we have the quote unquote twin flame sitting here under follow your heart, which is atop the 2 of water. The day before soulmate day. Oh, no, I correct myself. On what is soulmate day, the 15th of Av, it is 12:15 a.m. now. This has been a long reading, but ever since I stopped doing the dailies, I've had like a week's worth of stuff to cram into one. So that's the explanation for that. And for those who are looking for the dailies and look forward to them and always, appreciated them, they will be back for you via a membership shortly. Advice from the angels to the masculine. Knight of Water, emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative is the Knight of Water. He's also a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. This card is about falling in love, wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, and maybe even an invitation to a social event. This guides you to follow your heart, right to the 2 of water, right to your twin flame, right to soulmate, maybe tomorrow. Doesn't have to be tomorrow though, but this is what this is about. It's just reaffirming the fact that love is in the air this week. And maybe some of this coming from, again, that favorable transit between Venus and Mercury. Follow your heart, which Venus, rules love and money. And that's why all the money, I guess, showed up too, all these pentacles that we have here. But Mercury here, sitting here with this right, that may be their combination, maybe what's helping us to end a bunch of this. And we have Thought standing here right in front of a full moon as well. From the angels to the feminine, the High Priestess with Archangel Haniel. Another message about the fact that we know, we have knowingness. We have knowing, inner knowing. We are the High Priestess. Listen to your intuition. Have patience and consider carefully what you want before acting. And then go for what you know. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle to the masculine, Serapis Bay, Ascension. Move into true self. I've been talking about being authentic all night. Rise above the darkness. The light is here. For the feminine, Odin is back. Psychic insight. Your third eye is open. Feminine, this week, we have a tremendous amount of intuition to work with the High Priestess and Odin showing up here for us. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is. This is similar to what the masculine suggested in the first spread. Like, you know what's real and what's like, stop with the wishy-washy. You know, look in your heart. You know the answer. Follow your intuition. From the Ascended Masters. Crystals back for the masculine. Get out your selenite or go get some. If you don't have any, guys, you might want some. Again, if you're working on the love and your heart chakra, if you want to heal, you may want some green stones. You're working on love specifically, you may want some pink or rose colored stones, red colored stones. You want to cut some cords, you may want some selenite, perhaps specifically a wand. And feminine, we're going to be on the same job, same task, energy healing. That's what it's all about. That's our obstacle, right? Our funky energy that's filled with all kinds of residue from karmic lessons that we have completed, but we didn't, our souls held on to some of it. And sometimes lifetime after lifetime held on to some of it. That's what has to be cleaned out. And it looks like that. So we're both supposed to work on this week. And again, I can help for anybody who's interested in that. And I particularly felt that this was a phenomenal month to work on energy healing with all that's going on. I hope that you guys find the weekly reading helpful and that you enjoy it. Namaste, angels.